right, and welcome everyone to another edition of What an Impact. This is the official podcast of Facebook.com/groups/TNA, where the big boys play. This is episode number 4, recorded live on September 20th, 2012, directly after this week's Impact. My name is Garvin. With me, as always, is out on bond Steve Gallan. Say hello, Steve.
Hey, what's going on?
And you too can join the conversation by adding the FTW Podcast on Skype or by posting your thoughts in the live chat here on FTWLive.com. I know we have quite a few people already in the live chat, so thank you. Thank you for joining. Again, you can add the FTW Podcast on Skype or call 313-444-3894. We're going to bring your calls in throughout the show. Tonight's conversation has been brought to you by the FTW Podcast. FTW is the most interactive TNA and WWE discussion on the internet today. Join the discussion each and every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. This week, the major TNA discussion was surrounding Jeff Hardy. Can he really say that Hardy only appeals to casual fans? That's what a lot of people are saying. And would Hardy be a better champion than Austin Aries? We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight as well. But you can check out what we had to say on the FTW Podcast at FTWpodcast.com. For the next 60 minutes or so, we're going to be running down tonight's Impact, not just what we didn't like some other shows do, but also what we thought was awesome and hope they continue to bring us. This is a TNA discussion had by TNA fans with TNA fans, and we definitely want you to be a part of the discussion. So once again, if you're on Skype, add us, the FTW Podcast, or call us at 313-444-3894. Join the live chat. Let your voice be heard. All right, so another Impact as we go on the road to Bound for Glory. Let's just run through quickly a recap of tonight. Line by line, what happened, and then we'll discuss it in depth. You guys come into the conversation as well, and we'll be reading the live chat as we go through. Obviously, this is open fight night.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hour number 1, worth noting, Shaq was in the back with Hogan. AJ and Angle call out Hernandez and Chavo for what we can assume was the number 1 contendership for the tag titles. They ended up having a match. That match ended in a draw after Kaz and Daniels interrupted the finish. Douglas Williams versus Evan Markopoulos in the gut check. He's the 18-year-old that was trained by Killer Kowalski for the last 4 or 5 years. We also saw James Storm call out Bobby Roode. Roode said no. Hogan gave him 3 minutes to change his mind, and that was the first hour. The second hour, Storm versus Roode, basically ended in no contest. They just fought on the outside the entire time. There's lots of controversy with this match and how they're building towards Bound for Glory. Tara came down to the ring after that. She basically called out the fans, saying that the fans used her. She called out Tessmacher, saying Tessmacher used her. And then for open fight night, challenged Christy Hemme. Obviously, the match didn't happen because Christy Hemme is an announcer. But it was a nice way to build up Tessmacher and Tara. We also heard that they teased next week. We're going to find out what's going to happen with the TV Championship. Steve, I know you got something to say about that, but let's hold that off for a little bit. Aces and Eights, we knew that Joseph Park was going to come tonight and basically blow this whole thing out of the water. That was the thing that he kept saying. He was going to basically make it known who was in Aces and Eights, who was the leader, but he was taken hostage by Aces and Eights tonight. What that means is next week, Hogan's going to go to their place, pick up Joseph Park. I don't know. It wasn't necessarily clear what was going to happen, but there's going to be a confrontation at Aces and Eights Clubhouse. And in the main event, Austin Aries calls out Bully Ray to prove that his win over him a few months back wasn't just luck, that he can beat Bully Ray, cleanly. That didn't happen. Bully Ray won in the main event, hit Austin Aries with the chain when the ref was down, but that's your Impact. What did you like about this show, Steve?
This show? Man, I like the main event. I'm glad Bully Ray won because he's on my fantasy league, and that gave me 3 points. Even with the chain, he's still like, TNA is recognizing him.
3.5 points actually, because you got a bonus point because of the pay-per-view. Or I'm sorry, the defeating the champion.
Oh yeah, badass, even better. But I don't know. I like the way Hogan was acting today. It was cool. He was all badass about it. And, it looks like next week, or maybe we'll find out everything, But I'm sure they'll hold off till Bound for Glory. Hey, what else? I'm trying to think of, what happened. Oh, TV title. Dude, I think Devon's coming back.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. I mean, obviously we haven't seen Devon in a while. And he's the TV champion. Who knows what's going on with that contract, because there's been a lot of rumors that he's going. There was rumors that a lot of people are going, and now it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. Not to go off topic here, but Matt Morgan is obviously he's showing up at TNA live events, not on Impact, of course, but. So he is making his presence known, but he was a guy that everyone expected to leave. Devon was another guy that expected to leave, so he might be here. We'll find out next week, but that definitely has me excited because they're trying to build some interest in the TV title. So if he does come back, maybe there's a match or they strip him, and then that's the last time we see Devon, or who knows? Who knows? But.
Right, but I was thinking because they played an RVD package beforehand that they might, get him in the TV title picture,
Well, that's a possibility.
Because I was just thinking about that because, a lot of people say that online, how they want RVD as a TV champ just like he was in ECW. And I think that would be a good way, That's like to me, the U.S. title.
What about you guys in the live chat? I mean, do you want to see Devon come back? Or do you want to see the TV title put on RVD? I'm not sure if I like the idea of RVD holding the title. I wouldn't necessarily put a whole lot of weight on the timing of RVD's video package. I mean, that video package specifically was to build up Bound for Glory and why Bound for Glory is so important. It wasn't the only video package. I mean, they played one for Gail Kim last week. They played one for Samoa Joe this week. So I wouldn't look too much into the timing, but sure, you look at a guy like RVD, and he could definitely he's at the point where he can play a role like a Devon, where he was really putting over a lot of guys, generally speaking. But then he just kind of fell off the face of the earth. They stopped putting so much emphasis on the TV title, instead put it on Bound for Glory series. The live chat is throwing out the idea of maybe putting the title on Magnus. I could see it. I would definitely like them to push guys who we haven't seen in a title race before. And Magnus, I might be wrong. I'm not a diehard TNA fan, first and foremost. I mean, I love TNA now, but it's only been within the last 2 years that I've really been following. So, but really, I think Magnus has a lot of potential, and throwing him in that type of race.
Yeah, he still does. But he already went. He accomplished so much already, though. He broke away from British Invasion or whatever the hell he's doing. I feel like now you see him as a singles competitor, which is, maybe start taking him serious.
We got Kyler in the live chat is asking, what about Samoa Joe? Do you put Samoa Joe into the TV title race?
TV title? Samoa Joe? No. World title. Austin Aries versus Samoa Joe would be a better main event for Bound for Glory, I think. I mean, I like the idea of Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries, right? But that could happen on an Impact. I feel like Samoa Joe, Austin Aries, they'll have a Ring of Honor feel, but it's Impact. It's not TVPG,
Sure, and Nick is pretty much agreeing with that thought process. He's saying relegating him to the TV title would be a mistake. I think he absolutely deserves a world title run. We're all agreeing with that. That's exactly what we've all been saying for a long time. We want to see we want to see guys like Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, James Storm. We want to see them back in the world title race.
AJ Styles is better in the tag division, I feel, right now with Kurt Angle. I really like what they're doing there. Chavo and Hernandez and, Christopher Daniels and Kaz, the tag team, did a little 3-way match. When they came out right in the beginning of the show, first AJ came out and I was just thinking okay, AJ's going to come out and bitch about Claire or something. Oh no, because you're used to, someone getting on the mic for 15 minutes and just going on, and it's like commercial. Then something good happens. But no, Kurt Angle walked up from behind him. And,
Steve, do me a favor. Never bring up Claire again.
Oh, I know, man, but you just for a split second, man, you didn't see Kurt Angle right away. So that's what I.
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of AJ and Angle being in the tag team race. I'm just saying, just in general, it would be nice to see a lot of those originals be a part of the world title race, especially Samoa Joe. But you brought up AJ and Angle, so let's talk about that portion of the show. AJ and Angle, they call out Hernandez and Chavo to basically maybe determine who really deserves to face to face Kaz and Daniels at Bound for Glory for the tag team championships. They had their match. Obviously, Kaz and Daniels got involved, which set up Hogan coming out and booking a 3-way for the tag team titles at Bound for Glory. Do you like that idea better than a one-on-one match?
Team on team with 3-way. I think it should be a ladder match. It should be better. If it's a plain old just 3-way match, like a tornado tag, 6-man tag, it'll be like a little rumble.
Yeah, I don't know about a ladder match.
A whole lot of shit going on. Ladder match, TLC.
TLC, I could see.
It's bound for glory, man. It's like WrestleMania, dude. So you got to go all out, man. You can't just be like, him versus him versus him. And this is
sure, but you throw just a triple threat match. I mean, that's pretty solid. We you don't see a lot of tag team title defenses being put on against two other teams, especially in a pay-per-view situation. You kind of see that every once in a while just to build some interest in the division to show what teams are there. But overall, I think in this setting, with everyone involved, this will be a solid match without any extra stipulation.
Yeah. I agree, too. No matter what, it's a win-win, but I want to just make good, great, That's
sure.
my point of view. They don't have to be all bloody and steel chairs, but if it happens, it happens, It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. That in the main event. Already. It seems like they're working really hard to push this pay-per-view. All the effort from they put no effort into No Surrender, and now they're just using it all on Bound for Glory.
Yeah, but we knew that going into No Surrender, that No Surrender wasn't the big pay-per-view. I mean, obviously everything that happened at No Surrender was surrounding Bound for Glory. There was 3 matches specifically to determine who was going to go to Bound for Glory. I mean, for the world title. So I wouldn't necessarily look at No Surrender card in that capacity, in that negative light, but overall,
it was average.
But okay, let's jump to another topic. Nick in the live chat, he said, "Okay, I'm checking Twitter and I saw FTW tweet about Christy Hemme getting back in the ring and not as an announcer. Please tell me this is a real thing." All right, so this is what happened. Tarek, she came out and she basically is using Open Fight Night to call out someone. She attacks the fans, attacks Miss Tessmacher, basically says that they all used her to get something, like the fans used her to get on TV with their signs. Tessmacher used Tara to get the title, and now she is here to basically prove a point, and that is that she doesn't have friends. She's not here to be best friends with anyone or to be liked by the crowd. She is here to win championships, and this is her time.
Yeah, she is a heel.
So she calls out.
Fully declared.
She
right
calls
there.
out Christy Hemme. A big surprise. That's definitely not what I was expecting. I was expecting anyone other than her.
Yeah. Oh, Tessmacher.
So okay, no match happened. There was basically a confrontation where Tara asked, she asked Christy Hemme who her favorite wrestler was at this time. Christy Hemme said Miss Tessmacher, and it almost came to blows. I think she might have pushed Hemme into the corner, but it really wasn't anything worthwhile. I mean, it wasn't Christy Hemme getting back in the ring and being physical. It was just to build up Brooke Tessmacher versus Tara at Bound for Glory. That's obviously where they're leading. Do you agree?
Yeah, Tara's might get the title at Bound for Glory, I think.
Do you like this feud, where they're going?
I've seen better, but I'm glad she's doing her thing, She's getting called upon. Like, she's kind of putting it on her shoulders right now. Because everybody always knew that she could do it. They always seen her as a trainer and stuff like that. So for her to actually, suit up and show them, like, this is why I train people. Look, I'm going for the world title in TNA. I'll take it easy. Just get serious, get in character, and, show off in the ring.
Yeah.
But she's better than Tessmacher wrestling, ability-wise.
Oh, yeah,
think,
definitely.
Right?
Tara has always been one of my favorite women's wrestlers. She's great, and I'm glad they're finally putting a big spotlight on her. The whole Knockouts Tag Team Championship kind of was a joke because they treated it worse than the TV title. It was rarely ever used. It didn't really put over either of them. So, but overall, I agree. I like where they're going with this. I want to see the rematch, and I'm kind of excited to where they go with it because Tara really has never gotten a solid shot at leading the Knockouts division since she came over to TNA. This will be a perfect opportunity to do that. But Tessmacher is starting to, get over pretty well with the crowd, with us in the Facebook group. We're starting to realize that she is improving.
She's trying, though. I think the reason why is she puts all the effort. She's really into it too, and you can tell she's working her ass off. So if it was like someone that you could tell, I'm just on TV and I want to be famous, so I'm picking wrestling, then I don't think she'd have the support. She always seems so humble too. Yeah, definitely. Recap.
All right. Once again, you can add us on Skype, the FTW Podcast, or you can call in at 313-444-3894. We will be taking your calls. You can call in right now. If you've got something you want us to talk about or you want to add to what we've already said, call in. We'll add you right to the conversation. Moving on to something that I want to talk about. It's something that we talked about in the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/TNA, where the big boys play. We were talking about what we saw with Evan Markopoulos. He was the gut check contestant, the 18-year-old. They've been building him up as kind of obviously the underdog. He's young. He has 5 years of experience, but he's still 18. So he's got a lot of room to grow, a lot of potential. He faced Douglas Williams tonight, lost. What did you think about this match and about Evan's ring work?
Man, I checked it out. I missed a little bit of it, but what I seen the ending when they showed the replay, man, he seemed pretty good. Like, he was selling pretty well. Like, his emphasis, on that would be good. And he's 18, man. At least send him to Ohio Valley Wrestling. You've seen, a lot better people But you might say no just because, like, you're too young. Let him down. It's going to be like a sad story next week. Like, no, but keep trying. Here, we're going to give you this.
I don't know if they would let him go just because he's young. I mean, yes, he's young, but again, he's got a ton of time to grow and build into a great wrestler.
Right, but Al Snow is just going to be like, well, he has to be on Impact, All these other people are just like, they're going to be on Impact within the next few months. You'll see them all over the place, next year.
So keeping that in mind, I mean, do you see them at least signing him maybe unofficially off of the gut check and putting him into OVW? Or do you see them just saying flat out no and then breaking away from him?
Yeah, I hope they put him in Ohio Valley Wrestling, But if they say no, I wouldn't blame them. They have so many people, they only got 2 hours, 3 maybe, plus the pay-per-view. He's better than Chris Louis.
Yeah, you look at Chris Louis as the benchmark. By far, he's been the worst guy. And he's been...
Well, no, that's too low. I think... I don't know.
Seeing that they've signed everyone except for Chris Louis, I think you can easily say that's the benchmark. Is Evan Markopoulos better or worse or the same as Chris Louis? He's better.
Right. Yeah, he's younger. He's already put 5 years into it. Looks like Chris Louis, I don't know, maybe
he
4,
showed up.
But yeah.
All right, so we asked the same question on the Facebook group. We got quite a few comments. Let me just quickly read down. Steve, you said he's got a lot of potential. Mary said, yeah, they should sign him. He's young, but he can hone his skills and gain some muscle in OVW. Shamara said, a lot of potential, and he could take a damn good bump and sells moves. He needs OVW time and some gym time, but yeah, sign him. Overall, the votes, most everyone said sign him.
Yeah, because when you sign somebody, you can sign him for $10 if Evan's down for it, So my question is, how much is he worth? How much would you pay Evan a year to wrestle for, if you own TNA?
Yeah, and also we asked the same question on the FTW Podcast Facebook page. Robin said, heck no. Robert said, of course, get as many X Division wrestlers as they can. Yeah, I can see them getting a kid like this, giving him some more time in OVW just to hone his skills, like was suggested, and then bring him up into the X Division. He could do well. I mean, my only issue with him was that we didn't really see anything. It was a very heavy Douglas Williams match, and by very heavy I mean he's heavy now for some reason. Douglas Williams, I don't know what he let himself go.
Right.
But
yeah.
Overall, I would have liked to see more. It seems like he had the crowd support when he first started. He was getting everyone the clap for him, and then Douglas Williams took him down, and then that was it. The crowd was pretty dead after that. He didn't really go back to the crowd.
Well, in the UK, if that was a UK crowd, maybe it would have gotten a different response.
Well, sure. And I mean, I suppose I can't necessarily,
we didn't forget all the bad stuff he did.
I can't necessarily talk about, crowd response and think it's going to be super positive considering it's at the Impact Zone, which rarely ever has a consistently good reaction to anything.
Well, it was pretty good tonight. They were cussing. They were cussing up a storm tonight. Someone mentioned it on the board.
All right, so
cool.
I'm saying don't sign him, but I'm saying that that he's definitely someone I'd like to see get another shot, maybe a year down the road. I mean, he's got a good story. He's got a somewhat good look to him, for an X Division type wrestler. But overall, I need to see more before I make any type of decision. But he was better than Chris Louis, so.
Well, do you think Evan would quit if they said no? Like, oh, I'm done. You think he'll keep honing his skills?
Yeah, obviously we don't know what actually happens during these segments, but I have to imagine that there is some kind of conversation behind the scenes with Taz and Al Snow and Pritchard with these guys and give them some honest feedback prior to going out and doing it in front of the live crowd. So, even if they do say no, you gotta sit on the idea that he's got a lot of potential. They're gonna have to say that to him. And if he quits after that, then I don't know. I don't know what to say. But I don't see him doing that.
Since he's able to train for 5 years, I'm sure he can still, keep going. He probably has his own wrestling.
He's got a long time ahead of him, and also think, Matt and Jeff Hardy both started when they were really young too. They were working house shows and, even, basic opening contest type matches for WWF events back in the day. So, yeah.
Superstars.
So I mean, even if he doesn't get a contract, like a big time contract like everyone else has in Gut Check, they can still use him for live shows, live events, and get him into, how Impact works. All right, so what we ended up with hour one, how it ended was James Storm called out Bobby Roode. That's exactly what we thought was going to happen. That's what they were building up from last week. Roode says no. He said he wasn't going to fight James Storm because he's done with him. He's going after the title, and James Storm is not. So Hogan obviously had something else to say about that, and basically said, you are either fighting or you're fired. So once we got back from the commercial break,
you don't know the rules, brother.
So once we got back from the commercial break, we got Storm versus Roode. It ended in a no contest, and this match really seemed to have a lot of controversy attached to it when it comes to the live conversation we were having on Facebook. It seems like, some people were really excited with what they were doing with these two, but then others were saying, well, why are we seeing Bobby Roode versus James Storm now when we're supposed to be expecting that for Bound for Glory? Because basically, if you look back the last 12 months, James Storm versus Bobby Roode is the main event at Bound for Glory on everyone's speculated card. That's the match that we've all been wanting to see. It's not the main event anymore, theoretically, but it still is in the minds of a lot of fans. So was it a mistake to have what they had tonight?
No. I thought it gave the show, it shows TNA treats every show equally. So that was like the main event. They wanted to jump on the hour and give us something good. And I don't know, you can still have it at Bound for Glory though. I won't get sick of it for a couple more times. So, it gave me a reason to watch the show.
Yeah,
and it was pretty good, but yeah, they kind of dragged it on. The fan interaction.
Yeah, I don't necessarily have an issue with this. The fan interaction was great. Very non-PG. They awesome. Tried to censor as much as they could, but it was impossible.
It was awesome, man. Think about it. Come on, man. You like Storm versus Roode. It was good.
Overall, I thought the overall idea of Storm versus Roode tonight was great. Because it really put that match back in your mind. With Bound for Glory happening, we pretty much forgot about Storm versus Roode because we all pretty much expected Storm versus Aries at Bound for Glory. Now that we've got Storm versus Roode again, we need to build that up, and I thought for sure that this was a good way to do it. We still have 2 weeks or so there's still time, but just look at wrestling. This is how wrestling works. You don't just have a match booked with no build up, the month prior, regardless of how many fans want to actually see this. The match books itself, but we still need to see some kind of confrontation, whether it's in the ring or in the back, or just a contract signing segment where they're just going off on each other. You need something.
Yeah, I hate those though. It's like, oh, it's a main event. Sign a contract, and it's cool. I've seen it a lot though. But I agree with you with the build up. But I feel the Bound for Glory series, just the whole everyone's fighting for points, was just build up for this pay-per-view, man. It's gonna be good. They need to continue on, like, maybe they now need to ease up on Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries and start pushing some other things next week. Really focus on it.
Well, we'll get into that in a second. But just real briefly, I asked in the live chat, do you guys agree that Austin Aries versus Jeff Hardy is the real main event, or is James Storm versus Bobby Roode the real main event? And it's kind of mixed. We have, if Roode versus Storm doesn't actually overshadow Hardy versus Aries, it definitely be rivaling the main event in everything but name. And yeah, that's exactly it. It's like this is the match that we've been wanting for a year now. We're finally going to get it, and it's not the main event. It does feel kind of weird that we have another match for the title that is booked higher than that.
Because would you be interested in Hardy versus Aries without the world title?
No.
Well, really? Well, maybe on Impact. Explosion. Because, yeah, without the title, Aries, I don't know. He's really going to have to hold that title for a while. You think, I don't want to skip ahead or anything.
Oh, we can.
I don't know.
Do you want to talk about the main event from tonight?
No, I'm talking about Bound for Glory, just Jeff Hardy versus
right,
Austin
but
Aries.
let's talk about what happened in tonight's main event to allude to maybe something else going to be happening for that main event. Bully Ray defeated Austin Aries. Regardless of how it happened, that's a win for Bully Ray. Do you think possibly that they might try to book a three-way for the world title? Bully Ray versus Austin Aries versus Jeff Hardy?
Yeah, it'd be more possible than, like, my other theory, which would be Bully Ray somehow capturing the gold before Bound for Glory, and he's the champion going into Bound for Glory. That would be pimp. Because then, yeah, that'll give me a whole bunch of points. He came out, he's just talking shit, dude. It was the best. He had me cracking up for a little bit.
Live chat, Kyler's already saying no. Bully already had 2 shots. He had 2, not 1, 2. Yeah, sure, but Bully Ray is pretty fantastic. And to say yes, he got shots at the title, but let's be honest. I mean, there was no legitimate way, knowing what we know, that they were going to put the title on him at that point. Now he signed a 2-year extension on his contract, so you've got Bully Ray for the long haul. This might be a good time to put the title on him before it's too late, because he doesn't have a lot of time left on his career.
You think Samoa Joe's gonna get booked at Bound for Glory?
Samoa Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't see why not. I mean,
what would you have him do?
Magnus
versus Joe.
Yeah, you reignite
That's
that
it.
feud.
Number 1 contendership for the, I don't know,
TV title.
TV title. I'm thinking, like, you can't do X Division. We only got one other title, and it's like, come on, that's why you need the TV title. People always wonder. Should be the TV hardcore title. Okay.
All right, so that was Impact. Kind of a slow show. It started off slow. The second hour really never picked up, but we did see some good things. Obviously they're building Storm versus Roode, Bound for Glory. We got some tag team build up, and that's nice. It's always nice to see some tag team
right away
action getting some spotlight. They're continuing to give some time to the whole aces and eights setup, but they didn't give them the main event slot. They weren't on all night. It was basically one spot with a few phone segments with Hogan. So Definitely they took a step back from what they were doing, the last 2 weeks, which was really heavy Hogan on every show. They pulled that back a bit, so that was nice.
Yeah, he kept it short and sweet.
Yeah. So overall, how would you rate tonight's Impact out of 4 stars?
4 stars?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'll give it like an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
4 stars though.
All right, well,
I don't know if I want to give him 3 or 2. 2.5 stars.
How about 7
that sounds bad.
out of 7 6-sided rings? What would you give it?
7 6-sided rings. I would give it a 5. Yeah, it delivered, but it was a lot of hype. They wanted to make sure that they weren't being criticized. Like, you didn't hype it up like they wanted to be. It's Bound for Glory. And we got some matches. So Storm versus Roode, man, man, it was okay. And AJ and Angle and Hernandez and Chavo, that was pretty decent, man. I don't know. Did you hear the crowd chanting "Chavo sucks" during that match?
I did.
Was that what they said?
I didn't. There, obviously there's the normal.
They chanted Eddie.
Yeah, there's the normal Eddie chants. I didn't really hear Chavo sucks, but considering they were going up against AJ Styles, I could maybe see it.
It made them look like bad guys,
Yeah. It was weird because it was like face team versus face team. But all right, just going to what's being talked about in the live chat. Kyler said it was a disappointing show. Overall, I can kind of agree with that. It wasn't as action packed as you would have expected. But it's kind of an off week. We still have 2 weeks before Bound for Glory, so you take a week off, take a step back from a lot of in-ring action, and just build it up with segments, which is a nice change for TNA. They don't normally build up a pay-per-view well. This one they are.
Yeah, they want to do that. But another thing, Open Fight Night is. You always get a weird feeling after Open Fight Night, but it does a lot. Like, once you watch the next one and the next one, you're like, okay, all made sense.
Yeah.
They usually use that to turn the corner.
Yeah, usually Open Fight Night isn't necessarily building towards anything specifically, but, tonight's was. Just the Storm vs. Roode, the Tag Team Championships, Tara and Tessmacher, Bully Ray and Austin Aries, sort of. I mean, those were all building towards Bound for Glory or something involving Bound for Glory.
Bully Ray. Now he gets to fight next week. Start talking shit.
Yeah, most likely we'll see.
1, 2, 3.
We'll see a rematch. Bully Ray versus maybe Jeff Hardy, or Bully Ray versus Austin Aries again.
Next
week. That's what I'm thinking. I think for sure that that's the direction they're going to go. They're going to try to put Bully Ray into the match, because you need. I mean, honestly, in any good story, you need a villain. You need someone that the major face is going to be going up against. And right now, it's Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries, and that really doesn't sell it to me.
Yeah, and you can't really turn Aries heel, because then, well, not. Like, I don't know, people would think that it's like a CM Punk move. Like, oh, he gets the title, he has to be heel to be cool. And Bobby Roode was just heel, and...
Sure. Well, let's run down...
It's Jeff Hardy's fault. Because he's a face. It should be Bully Ray versus Aries.
I think you can blame pretty much everything.
I was pissed about that. I know Surrender, dude.
I think you can pretty much blame anything and everything on Jeff Hardy. All right, but let's run down Bound for Glory.
Man,
let's run for Bound for Glory. Basically, what we know so far, we know the world title match is Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries, depending on what they do with Bully Ray. We also have the Tag Team Championships, which was booked tonight. That's Kaz and Daniels versus AJ and Angle versus Chavo and Hernandez. Then the 2 matches that we're speculating. You've got James Storm versus Bobby Roode, Tessmacher versus Tara. It's quite possible we'll see something with the TV title. Maybe that's what they're going to do, is they're going to decide who's the new champion at Bound for Glory.
It's like a best of 4, Final 4 already.
The other thing that they failed to build is the X Division. again, another month.
'Cause, I don't know, Zima on, man. I don't know. He does do good in the ring. I guess they don't want to like spoil it. If they're really hurting right now, they feel like they have good momentum. If they ever run into troubles with ratings, then they're gonna like start throwing X Division at us. You know, I don't know.
I don't know how
what they're thinking. I don't know what they're thinking, dude. You know, I'm trying to explain it.
Yeah.
Trying to find a reasoning.
Yeah, and that's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing to try and do, but I can't come up with any type of explanation of why they wouldn't put Zima Iron out there. Why they wouldn't, make a better emphasis on the X Division race. Sanjay Dutt was fantastic the last couple of matches he's had. Where the heck is Kenny King? I mean, they just signed him and then he disappeared.
Man. I don't know. I guess they just want to snatch him away.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of who else is in that X Division. I mean, you still have Kid Cash around. You can throw Gunner in there. I mean, there's other opportunities to put guys in some title races. I don't know why they're not taking advantage of the X Division. That is what sells TNA generally.
Yeah, they gotta start having like more than 3 matches. You know, how many did we get today? Like 3 or 4?
We got 4 today. It's been an average of 4 every Impact.
Yeah, 3 or 4. Like,
but,
3 and then knockouts.
Yeah, and but you look at those 4. I mean,
they're solid. You know, you can't say the quality wasn't there. Just need more time. They can fill 3 hours. I'm sure TNA could do it. And they just don't want to do it because then it'll, make them look like WCW maybe. I don't know. But Raw did it and they got the same criticism. It's like, yo, you seen what happened to Nitro,
I wouldn't say they need 3 hours, but they could take advantage of Explosion.
As long as they don't do it like WWE. I think WWE makes 3 hours look bad. That's why. I used to love it when it was on Nitro. Like the first hour was cruiserweights or, just a tag team match with like, Psychosis and La Parka versus, I don't know, Viano 3 and 4, TV title got some, was always in the first hour. So you can really highlight those two.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think you take Explosion, you remove their replay. Like every week they throw up an archived match. We don't need to see that on Explosion. Throw another match on there. Yeah,
dude, not this day and age. We have YouTube.
Yeah. I mean,
you tell me 10 years ago, I'll be like, okay, no, I like that shit.
You have TNA On Demand. I mean, they have a website dedicated to all the archive footage. So, like, I don't get why we need to see that match. I'd rather them use Explosion to push storylines, to push matches, to give TV time to guys that need it, like the X Division.
Yeah, just even the smallest step. Like, oh, these two had a match, and at the end, he attacked him. So you can always keep it in mind until like further into a storyline, like, I don't know, just another match,
Sure. Well, do you want to run down some of the news of the week?
Oh, well, I was just going to talk about Impact going live for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we got, I don't know, let's say another 5-10 minutes, unless someone wants to hop on the phone. You can add us on Skype, the FTW Podcast. Or you can call in at 313-444-3894. We'll be taking calls for the next, 4 or 5 minutes. But okay, let's run down the news. The major news was TNA is going to keep Impact live for the rest of the year. There is some alterations to that though. I think there were 4 dates that they would be taping on like a Tuesday instead, because of holidays. So like the days surrounding Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, they were going to tape those beforehand just so, the guys didn't have to work on the holidays. But otherwise, everything else is live. It's just great.
Yeah, I'm sure they like that. They enjoy that. The wrestlers like, come on, man. We have family too. So I guess I can't demand all that from them. But yeah, no. I would hate it to go back, man. I hate seeing spoilers. Like, I have to avoid the internet. Before, that's what I used to do. It's like, no spoilers, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, and generally speaking, though, I mean those shows over the holiday, I can see me maybe not watching live anyways, just because of all the holiday stuff that has to go on anyways. You know, you got family in town, so I can totally see them doing it. All right, so Chris in the live chat, he's saying that TNA is under contract to stay on Spike TV until 2014. That's
that's true.
That's the number that I read too a little bit earlier this week. So if they continue to go live until the end of the year, you have to assume that after
they're live,
that they're live from now on. Although
they can't do it any other way.
Yeah.
It ruins it.
Yeah. Although I mean, maybe after the start of the year, they might consider jumping to another day. But I'm not necessarily sure like what day would be good other than
what
Thursday.
Day, right. What day would you say is good? If it could be any other day but Thursday, what would you pick? Monday?
Yeah.
Sunday Night Heat.
I actually I could see them thinking about coming back to Mondays.
Monday, dude.
Not Wednesdays. Wednesdays are usually killer for wrestling, but I could definitely see them maybe considering Mondays again, especially after the new year, once the football season's over and there's really nothing on TV. That's definitely a good spot.
Dude, the weekend is horrible for wrestling.
Sure. All right, so in other news, we also got word that Matt Morgan is returning.
Yeah.
And
I think that's good.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of weird because like there is some footage of him on YouTube. If you just search, and I think it's been posted in the Facebook group a few times. But basically, he's coming in during live TNA house shows and causing a scene. Basically, coming in the ring and taking out a ref or taking out one of the wrestlers or something. So obviously they're doing something with him. It's good. It's good to see him back. I think there was a lot of talk that he might jump ship, but I think TNA is a better place for him if they use him properly.
Yeah, I think that's what he wanted. It was probably negotiations, like never team me up with Crimson again. I'm wondering if they had a fallout, They sent Crimson and now he's the champion over there. They're not going to let him go, But at least for the, present time.
They should let him go, though.
They should let him go?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I would hate for him to... No, he wouldn't... Guess that's, OVW champion. That's what he is. I'm Crimson. Rawr.
All right, well, keep Crimson there, then. That's cool.
Keep him out of my TV. But Matt Morgan coming back, most talented 7-footer, I would think. I don't know.
Yeah, and, okay, so... How does he come back? Does he come back the same guy that he was before with, he's the blueprint. He's basically the nice cheerful face, or do you see him coming back maybe as a heel? That's being asked in the live chat. Is
got to be heel. He got to work off because he got people so pissed off with the TikTok and they're dogging him because it's like you left and. That's one way to think of it, and people just thought he wasn't good, so I don't know.
Any chance he's a part of Aces and Eights?
That's what I'm thinking. If you bring him back, would you bring him back with Aces and Eights? It would be okay, but he would have to be the leader. That would be awesome. I would like that, but does he have the mic skills for it? Is my question. I don't think so. Just as a goon, maybe? I don't know. There's to me, like a 70% chance, man. No, lower, like 60.
If
for him to come back
they bring him back as a member of the Aces and Eights, it's got to be the leader, and really he's much taller than any of those guys have been.
Yeah. So you can't pull it off. That's what I'm saying. You totally said it.
But you put it. You put him in the world title race right away, right?
Yeah. I was thinking, would it be a slap in the face to have him the TV champion? Like, that's the announcement? Like, in order to sign him, we had to give him the TV title.
No,
He's going
that'd
to
be
defend
awful.
it. No, that would be awful, right? Matt Morgan as the world?
Yeah.
That means he's not showing up till after Bound for Glory.
Or at Bound for Glory.
At Bound for Glory.
Make a splash.
Yeah. And he'll wear Ace of the Nate hat and not be with him. Another swerve, a double swerve.
All right, well, I think that's it. Anything else that happened tonight, or any other news you wanna go over? Or?
No, I think covered it all, man. Next week is gonna be good, man. I'm really excited about the TV, title staying around. There's rumors that they're gonna drop it.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with it. I'm really hopeful.
Glad it's staying, man.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful that they'll do something positive with it. But in the grand scheme of things, I'd much rather them give TV time to the X Division if I had to choose between one or the other. But overall, I mean, there's still a lot of opportunities there, whether or not Devon's involved. So yeah, I'm also excited about that. Kind of interested in what they're going to do with the whole Aces Nates next week, especially with Hogan going to their turf. What does that mean? There's been a lot of rumors and a lot of people speculating that Joseph Park is a member of Aces Nates.
Ooh, it all let up like that's why he switched. Started all the way back then. He's gonna be like, haha, I'm really abyss.
Yeah.
And
Swerved,
like,
you guys.
Ooh, try to stay kayfabe after that, like we didn't know.
Yeah. So that would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a barroom fight. Like there's gonna be a bar, a pool table.
Yeah, and obviously they're building up Bound for Glory well. I'm still excited about it. Even though we still only have 2 official matches, we're speculating on the rest. But I think they still have, they still have 2 more weeks. There's still a lot of time to book more matches and build this up even further. And they're really pushing how Bound for Glory is such a special event for TNA. That's nice. That's nice to see.
It was pretty good. Yeah, I'm really excited for it, man. It's not like No Surrender. I kind of brushed it off, man. I was like, damn. I know they're all good. There's some good matches, but it was gonna feel like an Impact because they're not like pay-per-views. They should go somewhere else. Go to Minnesota. Go to fucking Boston. Somewhere.
Sure.
And
Phoenix is nice.
Phoenix, yeah, that's a pretty good location. They're real happy about it. They put Phoenix, Arizona, like, yeah.
Nice college town. You got a lot of nice demographic there that you can reach out to. So I think, yeah, I agree. It's nice that pay-per-views are traveling. All right, well, that's it. That's all the time we have. Once again, this is the official podcast. Facebook.com/groups/TNA where the big boys play. You can catch us every Thursday night directly after Impact goes off the air. We'll recap it, have a conversation about what we liked, what we didn't like. And we'll bring you guys in if you're willing. So, anyways, thank you for joining everyone in the live chat. Kyler, Chris, Robert, you guys are great. Nick.
Yeah.
So thank you once again, and we'll see you next week.